trouble in Manila. Singapore's football, netball and floorball teams have been hit with problems in Manila, having arrived ahead of the SEA Games official opening on the 30th of November. For instance, Team Singapore's netball and football teams face problems like a lack of food or cold food, as well as a shortage of halal options at their hotels. Other countries had their athletes stranded at the airport for hours or were driven to the wrong hotel. We are now joined from the Philippines by correspondent Raul Dancel, as well as correspondent Sazali Abdul Aziz in the studio. Hey guys.
Hi Dylan.
Hi.
Now, Sazali, let's start with you. Give us some updates on the situation. How has anything changed?
Yeah, I'm happy to report that things have gotten a lot better. I think the netball team sorted out their issues pretty soon after they first suffered them, and the football team have also sort of solve their halal food issues as well. I think at one of the early dinners, they only had plain rice, pita bread and brinjal lasagna, effectively 3 carbs options,
right,
which is not ideal for an athlete. But from what I understand, yesterday they enjoyed chicken, fish and vegetable options as well. So I think it's a lot better, but still there are some question marks because the Thai football team also complained about shortage of food, and they don't particularly require halal food. So to be honest, I think it's just the problems mainly stem from a lack of preparedness more than anything else.
Right.
And I think yesterday the organisers held a meeting, a chef de mission meeting with all the participating nations, and I think they have committed to solving these issues, which like I said, probably just a lack of preparedness. That's why it's all happening at the beginning.
Right. Now, Sazali, we'll get back to you in a bit. For now, let's check in on Raul. Raul?
Hi.
Now, Raul, if you can, if I can just get your thoughts on this. Singapore is not the only nation that has spoken out about the reception they face. 3 other nations have actually talked about their reception, the reception they face as well. Now, how is the Philippines actually feeling about this?
Well, as you can imagine, there is outrage, there is disappointment, there is a sense of national embarrassment, there is a demand for accountability. All these things wouldn't have happened had there been a cohesive leadership that could have put together the financial and logistic requirements for an event this big. But what happened was what we had is an ad hoc committee, which is generally a private initiative, which is essentially a coordinating body. It didn't have the resources of a full government agency. So subsequently, its preparations were haphazard, scattered. So I guess that's why we're having these problems, no? And this ad hoc committee also butted heads with the Philippine Sports Commission and with the Philippine Olympic Committee, which were supposed to organize, and which probably would have done a better job had this been a 100% government initiative.
Right. Now, Raul, what about on the ground level? Are people actually excited for the games to begin? What is the mood like?
Having said that, having seen all these problems, the sentiment here is to refocus on the games. People here are saying we should rally behind our athletes. We should bring back the focus on sports, on camaraderie, on excellence, and then we can have the accountability and the mudslinging and the retribution after the closing ceremonies. Right.
Now, Sazali, just to end off, now you're wearing a Team Singapore jacket.
Represent.
Now, Team Singapore's football boys take on Laos tonight.
Yeah.
Do you think this would have impacted their preparations a little?
Honestly, I don't think so. The players and officials that I spoke to, weren't too upset. I mean, they shared the facts of what happened, but they weren't too upset at the whole situation. And at most, I think they regard it as a minor inconvenience. So they know, and athletes are a resilient bunch. They know the only reason they're in the Philippines in the first place is to compete, and I believe they're ready to compete. They've had a long preparation for this tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in action tonight against Laos.
Right, thanks Sazali and Raul as well for coming on the show and sharing with us more about the SEA Games in Manila. Now, for more stories and to keep up to date with the SEA Games, visit our website at straitstimes.com.